All those in favor of approving the minutes as printed signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Next item up is appearances by local citizens and visitors. Bob, do you have anything? You're just here. Mr. Shahazian.
Yeah, I got a few items that I'm going to try to go through real quick. First, website. Town Newport website, the page rank has risen because, you know, I use it a lot and I'm always adding content, which makes it vigorous and strong. And not only that, I do have some decent website building skills, and I always have an eye on SEO no matter what I do. So anyway, so what's happening is some of the people you do business are coming to me thinking that I'm the town. That was 1 or 2, 3 and 4. By the way, was Holt? Was that for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just today I sent her one.
Oh, I didn't see one today.
Oh, yesterday, whatever.
Tuesday.
Yesterday, yeah. All right. So, Steve, someone came up from Burlington looking for you. I went out of my way for you, which you don't deserve, with the lack of respect I'm getting. But nevertheless, I sent it over to Denise, and you got it. And, you know, it's coming in. So the thing is, I could fix this. I could redirect all the traffic that comes to my website, right? To go to Denise or wherever you wanted to go. But it will cause me time, and I'd have to charge you money, and I'm not asking you for money. I don't want to sit here and be humiliated when there's a unanimous decision for no. So I'm telling you, I cannot guarantee I'm going to always be the secretary and forward this stuff to you. That's all I can say. If you really want it to be lock solid, you can ask me and I'll give you a price. But I'm not asking you because I don't want to go through it. I don't want to be on the payroll for the town. I don't ever want Steve to be my boss or any of the selectmen. I like where I'm at. So I'll leave that at that. So whenever I can, I'll try to get them all, but you got to understand, I have to look at it, open them up, try to figure out, was it spam for me or was it meant for you? And then I get phone calls. They leave messages, please call me back. So then I got to get on, you know, I don't want that extra duty. I do plenty. The website alone and the Facebook is an enormous amount of hours, which I don't, is not appreciated by anyone here. I know that, but I have learned there is, what's it called? What's that thing called?
I don't know what you're referring to.
No forgiveness, no punishment for the,
Oh,
what's that one?
Oh, good deeds.
All good deeds do not go unpunished.
Right.
I learned that from working at the Catamount for 12 years, sponsoring at my own expense. All right, so that's the end of that. The second one. What was the next one I had? What was the next one? Next item on the agenda?
Oh,
Something about facts.
yeah. NAS.
Oh yeah,
contracts
right.
and
Facts. So I don't have my facts straight. You're telling me, right? My facts are always straight. They're always right on. So here's what I did. I've been trying to find out what's going on with the ambulance company because I'd like to be. This is going to be a big expense for taxpayers, and I want to know everything about it. So I did some little research. First of all, Steve, they are not a private company. Absolutely not. So you want facts? You got facts. So, where are the sheets? Oh, there they are. So the fact is that they are a non-profit company and they are totally public. Okay? And I'll read you a little something. Federal government. Oh shit, don't tell me I forgot that one. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, this must be it. No, that's not it. No. I have to do it by memory? I guess so. 2009, the federal government ordered the IRS to make all public companies, nonprofits, be transparent with all of their paperwork, all of their tax statements and everything. Just last year, they even doubled it up. Anyone can get their tax statements. So it's called a 990. Anybody that wants it. So I got their tax statements. They have to file 3 consecutive years All they have now is 15, 16, 14, 15, and 16, 17. They haven't filed yet. So I'm going to reference, okay, here's one for you. You said I didn't know my facts. This is a 990. It's on their tax return. What does that say? That's what I said last week, and you said I didn't know my facts. That's a fact. Unless they're lying to the IRS. Okay. So they have to file a 990, and on the 990,
Yeah,
this is-
she's the secretary.
Okay,
of
right. Okay, that's all I said.
of
She
the
works for
board.
them, huh?
She's the secretary of the board. She doesn't work for them.
I don't
They
care
work-
who she works for. She's paid. The only criteria on a conflict of interest is she works for the company, gets paid. That's it. I don't care what she does elsewhere. That is the criteria for conflict of interest, which you're going to have to find a way to determine that in writing on a policy next year. So maybe you should, get into this a little. I'm not doing anything wrong. As far as his wife goes, I have never said she did any wrongdoing. I mentioned her name in accordance with the conflict of interest laws. They have a criteria, three things.
You said that she worked for Mike Paradis, and you were wrong.
I'll tell you, don't embarrass
Mike
yourself. You're
Paradis-
talking okay.
Mike
Look.
Paradis works for her.
Jerry, you're an expert at municipal. Stay there. Will you? Don't go into this. I don't want to argue with you about this because you'll embarrass yourself saying stuff like that in the business world. Believe me. Look, we're talking a secretary who works 1 hour a week, is an executive director and a president of a multi-million-dollar corporation's boss. Please end it. Let's go on.
She's elected.
Move on. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk anymore.
Stop talking.
Here's that. Read that. What that top line says.
Well, Barry, let him speak. It's
Okay, all right.
you know.
I don't want to argue about this. They're telling me I
You're the
can't-
one arguing. We're just trying to explain something to you.
Yeah.
You're explaining to me that a secretary that works 1 hour a week
He should
is
be
the
Barry.
boss
better
of
than
an
anybody.
executive director
Barry.
and a president of a multi-million-dollar corporation?
Barry,
Please.
Barry,
Please, let us talk.
Okay.
what does that say? Does that say board of directors?
Because you're on a board does not make you a boss. Like, you're not my boss. You're on a board here. Select board. It doesn't make someone a
That's
boss.
the board of directors for the ambulance service.
They-
I didn't say I did say she was boss, and I was
she's
wrong.
not a boss.
But she doesn't work for Mike Paradis.
She works in the organization, right? She works for NAS, does she not? And it says
She's
it right there
board
on the
of
tax
directors.
statement. I don't care what she does. I'm only interested in the criteria for conflict of interest.
Can I
She
say
works,
something?
she gets paid. Okay?
I could see where it would be a conflict of interest, maybe, if the select board had anything to do with voting on the Newport ambulance
It's not voting.
service.
Any action, discussion, negotiation.
Can
It's
I
not
please
just voting.
finish what I was gonna
Yeah.
say? I don't interrupt you. You said I could talk, right?
All right, you're right. I'm getting heated up. Let me have
Um,
some water while you're
The
talking.
Newport ambulance service contract is voted at town meeting by all of the townspeople, not by the select board.
Okay. Last March, February or something, there was a discussion. Meg Paradis was here, Pronto was here, he was here, and there was a discussion. That's all that has to be done. It is recommended, and you recommended it to him when I first met, and it's on tape. It is recommended in a situation where he is in discussion or negotiation with a contractor looking for tens of thousands of dollars when his wife works at the company. It is recommended that he recuse himself, and that way your wife's name would have never been brought up if you recused yourself.
That is 100% correct if the select board makes the decision. The select board does not have the decision-making power. The townspeople do at town meeting. They vote yes
Well,
or no.
I have
to
it
get a
on
contract.
tape.
All
They-
we can
they-
do is put it on the warning,
Right,
which is a warning.
to be voted by the townspeople at
The-
town meeting.
We can
No,
put on the
he is
warning.
discussion. There was a discussion with Mike Paradis and Pronto, was there not? He brought in another contract from Miss Ickoi and the other one, and you compared them. That is a negotiation. That's all it takes. He should have recused himself, but he doesn't have to. He should have. and none of this crap would have happened. It would have stopped right away. If you just said, look, my wife works there, it's a conflict of interest, like the guy from Lowell did, I recuse myself. It would have been over. No arguments, we wouldn't have had to go with all this crap. But you're gonna have to do it next year. You're gonna have to come up with a policy that said how you determine what it is. So you're gonna have to think about that. And so whatever you're telling me here, I don't know, maybe it can be good. Are we finished? Any questions on that? Can I move on?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next thing I got here is the
What is so funny? Why is he laughing?
I don't know why he's laughing.
I don't know or care. All right, so so I did what I did was I want to know what's going on with the I'm kind of feeling out the ambulance company, and I got some newspaper articles. So we're getting an idea, you know, and I just they're telling us next year all the towns better be ready for a raise. I'll read it to you. An increase, and the new pitch for next year is going to be that since they don't have as many volunteers are all quit and they all want to get paid, that they're going to have to get more money from all the towns to pay more employees. It reads like this. Let's see if I can find it. In the future, we should expect to pay, in the future, towns should expect to pay more for our full staff. Moving forward, Pronto said local services need to hire staff and rely less on ever-diminishing volunteer base. And it says the volunteers are burned out. They're going to have to start. So all towns, so that's telling us expect a raise, right? Now, the next thing I said is they're more concerned here. It seems to me they're more concerned with transporting than actual emergency services, because transporting makes them more money. And it reads, the ripple effect of providing emergency services to Barton is the loss of revenue from transports. Transports move patients. Where's my glasses here? Anyway, transports move patients to and from nursing homes, hospitals, and doctors. It is a detriment having to pick up emergencies. A detriment because it could cause, what is this? It is a detriment to having to pick up emergencies, Charlie Pronto said. He's the president of Newport. Moving forward, Pronto said, where is he? Okay, it says somewhere that they make, yeah, right there. It is a detriment to pick up emergencies because they make more money on the other ones. And I don't like the concern about making money as opposed to emergencies, I would think, you know, and another thing, what they're doing is, I'm looking at the monies they're charging, $2,000 a week. They're looking for 100,000+ next year. They're getting it. They got 115,000 from Derby for the service contract, and they probably made another 150,000 on the calls. They're making big money, and you know, already they had a budget in 2016 of $1.5 million for salaries. They on whatever you want to call them, compensation, $1.5 million. And I have that on, I don't know if it's here, but these are the real numbers. These are the real numbers of if you want to look at it. That's what happened in 2016. That tells you, that's a lot easier to read than those spreadsheets they gave you, which were insanity. I've been looking at that. It's hard to decipher. So one final thing, I straightened that out, and I'm watching, you know, I'm picking these newspaper up, and he's going to go for some big money. And the whole thing is, historically, he comes in a month before, and he lays it on you, and the whole burden goes on your head right then. So now you have a heads up in writing. He's telling you it's going to be big increases next year. So I'm thinking, you mentioned there's an ambulance here. Why can't Town Newport start an ambulance company? You got an ambulance. Why not? You could actually make profits if you use a subscription.
What an ambulance costs?
Huh?
Have any idea what an ambulance costs?
No, but that's what we should find
Do you have
out.
any idea how many hours training these individuals
Hey,
have
wait a
to
minute.
have?
I'm a businessman. I analyze
So,
businesses
those
for the last
things
10
out.
years. I'll tell you what, I can get those answers.
I got
Do you
it.
know?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you? How much?
Well, an ambulance, basic ambulance is gonna be about $250,000.
We got an ambulance.
What do you got for an ambulance? Nobody's
We don't have
even-
an
We
ambulance.
don't have an ambulance.
We don't have an ambulance.
You said the fire department is probably
You
not
said the
up to
fire
code.
department has an ambulance. Don't we have an ambulance, you said?
No. We never have.
Okay,
an
I'll tell you what. I'll bring the tape. I'll bring in the videotape of him saying that. Would that make you happy?
The fire
Bring it in.
department might have bought an old ambulance
It's
and
not up to
turned it
code.
into a emergency, what do they call it?
Response.
Response.
Equipment.
Yeah, it's like
Command
they
vehicle.
set it up in
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
Command
command.
vehicle, yeah.
in
All I
a
know is
disaster.
when you were negotiating over the Mississippi and the two different costs, you said to the fire department people were here, you said, don't we have an ambulance? Yeah, we have an ambulance. That's all I know. You know what I mean? That's what you said verbatim.
They never said that.
No, I don't remember that.
They don't have an ambulance.
You know, it's hard
We
to
don't have
lie.
one.
It's hard to deny or lie when everything is on tape. But if you don't have one, you change your mind. That's out of the picture. I thought you had one, and maybe it might have been a consideration to.
They asked about maybe using one of their bays to house an ambulance. probably.
He said, "Don't we have an ambulance?" I got it. I videotaped it, and I remember it as clear as day. I don't want to bring it up. You say no, I don't care because now it's not an option. I thought maybe just a suggestion that it could have been an option, but no. So you're stuck. You're stuck trying to find a solution on what you're going to do, and I think you should think on it a little how you're going to deal with big increase. What if he wants?
$100,000 is a lot of money for an ambulance service. You better do a lot of research because you cannot man an ambulance with
Well,
less than.
it's moot. It's off the
Three
table.
people
He's
per
saying he
shift.
doesn't have an ambulance, so I have nothing. I
Well,
don't
then I
know.
guess we don't need an ambulance service.
Well,
We
you know-
pay for theirs.
I mean, I don't. You're not a businessman. Like you work for someone all life. I'm a businessman. The last 10 years, I spent analyzing one business after the next, and
Can
coming up
we
with solutions
move
for it.
on?
Yeah, right. Well, it's over. We don't have to talk about that. Okay, here we go. The water. Here's what I want to talk about with the water. So I don't know how is this going to be formulated on how the new bill is going to go. So I want facts. So I wrote John Muse. He is the boss of Candy or whatever it was, Misty or something. He turned out to be a bit of a bimbo, and I was looking for work. So I went to a boss, and he said, his name is John Muse, and John Muse at VermontUSDA.gov. Thank you, Barry, for your email. As far as what rural development requests for our annual financial reviews of a municipality who borrows funds for water or sewer improvements would include what we call user rates for the system. User rates are calculated by municipality to cover system operation. Debt service, I'm not so sure what that is, and maintenance. Those are the three items that you people have to determine. You already know that, but I want all the people to know that, and what we're gonna get for a final rate, and after the meters have been put into use and the billing has started. Okay, having said that, I don't buy this. I've heard Steve say, I ran the numbers. How did you run the numbers? Okay, I'm gonna say, I want to know everything about how the numbers were ran, how the debts, where they came from. I want to know because I'm a taxpayer. Already paying $300 for the water bill without any explanation on what really happened. So now I'm here. That's the reason I came here in the first place. So I want to know when this happens, if you're going to run numbers, how you ran the numbers. The IRS does that. An accountants do that. Not I ran the numbers. If you scribbled it out in paper, let me see the paper. If you used a debt, what debt was it? How much was? So Jenny Prosser says, you know Jenny, right? She said, in terms of transparency, all business records produced or acquired by your municipality are subject to Vermont's Public Records Act and must be disclosed upon request unless a specific exemption found in the statute applies to permit withholding. And I'm sure you know that the gathers to, and as I'm sure you know, whether a quorum of a municipal board gathers to discuss board business to make decisions, it must do so in the context of a duly warned public meeting unless Vermont statute gives explicit authorization to discuss business privately. An executive, and she says, I am not aware of anything in the status relating to water system that alters OMA and PRA requirements. In other words, all records must be given to us, and I know Denise will cooperate that, but I want it so everyone can know, so I can know and feel good that the calculations were made right. There was no, mistakes, and I want to know that it was done right. And I'm not, like I said, I'm still a little disturbed, as most of the people are in the water lines of that double increase. And I have a bad feeling of how much money we're going to have to pay for all of these when you do your calculations. I'm hoping that we get a break. One more thing, and I'm out of here. I did some research on how the water meters exactly work. Did a little video for anybody that wants to know. And one of the things I didn't know I had to ask, and I contacted the guys that manufactured the device, as well as Paul Whittemore, and he gave me some information, but I'll give it to you in brief. There's a flash. You use a flashlight. It's got to be powerful. Minimum 600 lumens. When you put it on the water meter, there is a solar panel there. The solar panel reacts to the light you put on it. It takes a couple of seconds. It won't even go on if you don't have enough power. So I would recommend 1,000 lumens. You can get for $1. You can get 1,000 lumen bulb. Use a utility light. Put it on there. Okay, so that's when your gallons you've used total to date will come up. We've been doing it every day. So it used to toggle to another figure there. And I said, what is this figure? And Paul, did Paul figure it out? Yeah, finally, I had to beat him over the head a little bit before he gave it to me. But this is a good one. The rate tells you how many gallons per second are flowing at any given time. So if you go there and you see a 0.2 gallons per minute flowing, and you know that you have everything shut off in your house, something's leaking or something's on. And I like that. You can only get that. And I got it on a page on my website. You have to keep the light on the meter for 12 seconds. Then the rate appears. That's it. And there's a couple of more little gizmos in there, but they're not really not important. One of them is you can read 8 digits or 12 digits. Who cares? I just read the same number. And then there's a leak detector that beeps on and off. And I don't know how that's determined, whether it's a leak or not. But we're watching it every day. So, we're seeing we use about 180, 200 gallons a day, I think, right?
Yeah, it goes from 150 to 180.
So I don't know.
Rare occasions,
And I'm wondering what you're going to come up with a rate. $5 per.
So it's about
The rate is
180
per
gallons a
1,000
day?
gallons. How much are you going to charge us? $5 per 1,000 gallons? $3
The
too?
two of us.
I've seen anything from. I've looked around other
laundry,
towns.
Everything you gotta do in a household in the
Have
course
you
of the
checked
day.
yours, Jerry? Have you checked yours?
No. At first I did a couple days, but
How much do you
Cause I
guys
wanna
use?
see what we're using.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
about 100.
100.
That's
Oscar
low.
said his is about 120, 30.
That's on rare occasions I do.
Yeah, but we're not always there. I mean,
Well, that's
we're
it.
gone.
Yeah, that's it.
That's true.
We're here. She does 2 laundries a day,
Yeah.
sometimes
It's like
dishwasher.
today we weren't there all day, it was low. So it depends, you're right, if you're there or not. And it depends on, what's going on in your household in any given day. If he uses a garden hose, it goes way up.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I said that. Do you know when you water the yard, how much it goes up?
That's interesting.
I mean, I was shocked.
Next thing you're gonna send water police at my door with armed guards, when you're eating too much water.
You wouldn't have to do
Hold a
it.
gun to my head.
That's true.
All right, I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. The road commissioner's report. Fred, I think, is busy.
Fixing a water leak.
Oh, Mike.
What
too.
timing?
here.
Holy shit.
Right on time.
Have you
Want
seen
to
your
join
dad?
us at the table?
Can we work
He's
Mike
not
over
coming?
instead of Fred? Well,
Huh?
he's
He
had
wasn't
a,
planning on being here.
he had a water leak.
I called them, they got a water leak over to Dexter Floods. Dexter came in about 4:30.
I saw him leave. He didn't call me.
It's pumping right up out of, by the curb stop.
Hmm.
So I called him. He was coming right down. I bet he's over there.
Put out like 6,000 yards of gravel between Bear Mountain Road and Miles Road. Pretty stony stuff. We tried to saturate it with chloride as best we could because them stones are something this year. Dry.
That isn't crushed gravel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's crushed gravel. Oh,
Yeah.
cute. Because didn't we screen it before?
No,
No,
we
we've
used
always crushed.
when Calkins, yeah, everything's crushed that we put on the road. When Calkins was crushing for us, they'd take a little from this bank and a little from that bank, and it kind of blended it and get the stony stuff and stuff with more fines. And with the way they do it now, they kind of are stuck where they're at. And they're supposed to be coming in a couple weeks. Our thought is to truck some of the fines down ourselves while they're crushing, so they can blend it into
Mhm.
hopefully.
Yeah, we had a lot of tire issues when
A few years ago.
Yeah.
big time.
Flat tires.
Yeah,
Stones kind of.
Yeah.
stone.